Hello, and in this video we're going to be thinking about coronary heart disease, so named because it is a disease of the coronary artery of your heart. Let's start off by thinking about the function of this coronary artery. Your coronary artery is not to be mistaken with the major arteries of your heart. Here you can see the aorta coming out of the heart. That's going to carry blood to the whole of the rest of your body, oxygenated blood, fresh from the lungs. Now that is not the same as these coronary arteries. Now these are the ones which run down just under the surface of your heart. You'll see it coming along here like that. So we've got a number of coronary arteries. And it's these arteries which supply the heart muscle itself with blood. And it needs that blood, obviously, to supply it with oxygen and with glucose and with all the things it needs for respiration. It also needs it to carry away the carbon dioxide, which is going to be generated by aerobic respiration. The trouble occurs when your blood supply down your coronary arteries is restricted, and it's restricted because of these fatty deposits. You can see what's happening here. This here is the lining of the artery. That's made out of endothelial cells. Not a term you need to know at GCSE, but you can see the individual cells really nicely on this diagram, borrowed from Wikipedia. Thank you very much, Wikipedia. And underneath that inner layer and inside the actual wall of the artery, you have these fatty deposits. So they're not on the wall of the artery, they're actually in the wall of the artery. And you can see that here, with all these fatty deposits, the lumen of the artery is becoming narrower. The lumen being the space inside the artery. So the artery should be this wide. The lumen of the artery should be that wide in its radius. However, it's not. It's a fraction of that because of all these fatty deposits. Because of this, you get greatly restricted blood flow going through this artery, and therefore we get restricted blood flow going through to these tissues here. That means the actual muscle cells, and you've got to talk about the muscle cells. Indeed, you've got to talk about the heart muscle cells. The heart muscle cells themselves get much less blood, so we're right here, less blood, therefore less O2, less oxygen supplied to them, therefore less aerobic respiration. And of course, if you can't do enough aerobic respiration, they will start doing more anaerobic respiration. And because you have more anaerobic respiration, you get more lactic acid. That, of course, is an acid, and that poisons heart muscle cells, and that leads to a heart attack. So there's our procedure. Your lumen becomes narrower, you get less blood going to the heart muscle cells, therefore less oxygen, less aerobic respiration, more anaerobic respiration, more lactic acid, that poisons the heart muscle cells, and you have a heart attack. There are a number of risk factors which increase your risk of coronary heart disease, and they are smoking. That increases the rate of fatty deposits building up. Saturated fats in your diet, they will increase this rate as well because they often lead to a higher blood cholesterol level. There is some debate about this going on at the moment, but from the point of view of your GCSE, certainly you could give this as a valid answer. Obesity is a risk factor, as is inactivity and high blood pressure, possibly associated with a high concentration of salt in your diet. So there we have it. That's coronary heart disease for IGCSE. I hope that's helpful.